So when you're fishing for gurnard, you need to tie a good rig with some good leader. So I tie a ledger for gurnard with 40-pound tough trace, and this is how I do it. It's just that loop and getting that line to come through so you have a bit more line to work with. You've got your loop in that hand, you go around that piece, round again, then you just pull that up, and if you can, you need to keep this piece here nice and straight, and you need to keep that piece nice and straight. So it's sort of difficult to do, but you do that, and then you pull that tight once you've got that bit of line sticking up, otherwise the knot won't see correctly. So if you just pull that tight, hopefully it'll work for me with two hands. It's much easier to grab that top piece with a third thing, but I use my mouth to grab that piece, and then you just pull the two tight together and then you get the nice knot. So I'll just pull it together like this, and then you got your loop. So when you pull it together with your third piece, you could put it just on, I don't know, your scissors. You could have that sitting there and put that through and then pull it tight like that, because it's much easier to get, and you'll get a longer loop too. This is quite a short loop, so that was just an example. So what I normally do is, you get a Lumo bead. Always put these on these rigs just for picking up the fish's attention. Can do much better in murkier water. So you shove that on. You get your hook, which is standard for this sort of fishing. I use the circle hooks. They do better for me, so that's what I use. You can thread it whichever way, but the way I do it is through the top, and if I can get that hook through. I can be tricky sometimes with heavier leader. You put that through there, pull it tight, and you got your loop that runs off the line there and sits on the bottom like that. So when you're fishing for gurnard, you want small hooks because they have quite small mouth, and if you go bigger it tends to be a bit harder to hook them. So the selection I have here is just 2 Barrow J hooks. In this case these ones are DX point hooks, and they're really sharp and they can penetrate the fish's mouth very well. You got your 3 Barrow KLs. These are my go-to hook for fishing pretty much everywhere. It'll catch anything that comes along and it can handle the big fish. But when you're gurnard fishing, it's just a bang on right size for putting into the corner of the mouth like this. And then going down even smaller, this'll do an even better job. I've caught big gurnard on these 1 Barrow KLs, and it doesn't seem to make a huge difference if you're using 3 Barrow or 1 Barrow. But this can be a good option too. Quite light gauge, so that's a different option. So when you tie your sinker onto the rig, what I do is I put it quite close to the bottom dropper, just to pick the gurnard up on the bottom. So what I do is I don't put a loop on the bottom because I just have my sinkers pre-tied on for just the different sizes. So I'll swap the rig over if I need a heavier or a lighter size. So with the uni knot you just go loop like so, and then you go with this tag end, you just go through that loop a couple times. You can go up to 5, you only sort of need 3 or 4. Then you grab that tag end, and you pull that tight, and then you pull that down, and you got a tight knot. Then you have your hook just above it, and that when that sits on the bottom there, it'll hang down and it'll pick those gurnard right up off the bottom. So what you need is just enough, this piece of paper here will show you how big it needs to be. Just slide that hook in once through, and then you can put it, you can keep it like that, that works. But what I do is I slide it through again, and then you have that hook sitting nicely out of there. You could go even smaller, that's probably a little too big. If I just cut a piece off that other side, that's plenty big enough for the gurnard, and it's just enough for a mouthful.